Okay, so let's begin with the today's topic, that is accounting for special transactions. Actually, if earlier it was accounting for special transactions, now it is not accounting for special transactions. They have directly given it as accounting for bills of exchange or bills of exchange and promissory notes. So our today's topic will revolve around this, that is bills of exchange and promissory note. Okay, so let us first understand the concept. Okay, first, what it says is goods are sold on credit, then buyer promises to pay after some days on a specific date. Okay, we call it as credit purchases. We call it as credit purchases. What happens in credit purchases? The amount will be paid at a later date. On the spot, payment will not be done. Clear? Then commercial practice has developed to convert these written promises into a valuable instrument of credit. The question arises, sir, what is this? Right? No, earlier what used to happen? See, assume that Tejas, I sold goods to Tejas on credit worth rupees 1 lakh. Now, for me, Tejas is asset because it is receivable. But the thing is, I can't use this asset for any purpose because I cannot exchange it with anyone. Right? So then the thought of this came into existence. What commercial practice has developed to convert these practices into valuable instrument of credit. What is meant by valuable instrument of credit? You can borrow money on that. That is called as valuable instrument of credit. When written promise is made in proper format and is properly stamped, it is obligation of the buyer to settle it on future date. See, mere whatever bill you are issuing after the sale, invoice, cash memo, whatever will be there, cash, not cash memo, invoice, whatever you issue, that may not be that constructive evidence of the transaction, especially in the court of law. Right? But when that bill, when that invoice is converted into a promise, okay, made in proper format and is properly stamped. Remember, the moment it is stamped, the weightage will increase. It is obligation of the buyer to settle it on the future date. Now it becomes obligation. It becomes obligation, and that too obligation in the eyes of law. If you fail, then you will be legally, you will be legal, you can be sued also. Okay. Now, next is when promise is made in proper, okay, seller can request the bank to give advance against that instrument. I will explain this in detail also. Okay. So what he is saying is seller can request the bank to give advance against that instrument. Yes, he can do that. Okay. Then comes such promissory notes, such bills are known as trade bills and genuine bills. Now, forget about this genuine bills. It is called as trade bill. Okay, because nobody now refers it as genuine bill. Okay, so this is a basic introduction of the chapter. Okay, now next coming to types of bills. Okay, or if I consider it as bills, it will be wrong. I call it as types of instruments of credit, or you can call it as types of negotiable instruments. Okay, which we will be discussing in this chapter. There is another negotiable instrument other than this, that is called as check. That is called as check. So what you need to understand is there are two types of instruments. One is bills of exchange and the other one is promissory note. Both act same. Their accounting procedure will also be same. Only thing is the purpose for which they are used is different. No question arises, sir, What's that difference? Let me make you clear before we start. The bills of exchange is used for trading transactions. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಟ್ರೇಡ್. That's why it is called as trade bill ಅಂತೀವ್ರಿ ನಾವು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತೀವ್ರಿ? Trade bill. The promissory note is used for financial settlements. That means borrowing ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ರಿ, ಅದರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾವ್ದು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ್ರಿ? Promissory note. Remember, promissory note is not used for trading. When it comes to trade, it has to be bills of exchange. For example, if I am lending 10,000 rupees to Manikeshwari, I cannot draw bills of exchange. I have to go through promissory note. But I will later on, I will tell you how promissory note works and how bills of exchange works. Clear? Then next comes, see, what is the bills of exchange? It contains order. I will tell you how it is a order and all. Okay. Then promissory note is what it contains? It contains promise. Now, it is drawn by seller to buyer, and the parties are known as drawer and drawee. Here, it is ulta, buyer to seller. Actually, buyer to seller ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿನ ಯಾರು ಲೋನ್ ತಗೋತಿರ್ತಾನಲ್ರಿ ಅವ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನ್ರಿ ಇದನ್ನ. Okay. Then parties ಯಾರ್ರಿ ಇದ್ರಾಗ? Promisor, promisee. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಾವರ್ ಡ್ರಾಬಿ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ? Promisor, promisee. Clear? Now, let's come to bills of exchange. Okay. What is bills of exchange? Now, bills of exchange definition, we will look at that definition. An instrument in writing containing an order, right? That definition is summarized here. Okay. Now, first, just let us take an example how it works. Now, what happens now here? Who all are the parties? Now, as we took example of me and Tejas. Now, here there is a person called as Praveen. And there is another person called as Tejas. Praveen has sold goods on credit to Tejas worth rupees 1 lakh. Okay. In order to secure this amount, or in order to convert this into an instrument of credit, what I do is I draw a document called as bill. And this bill will be properly stamped. And what I write in that bill, I will tell you. First I write, because now who is drawing this bill? I am drawing. Right? You tell me, when I am drawing it on Tejas, do I tell him that I request you to pay? No. I am giving goods on to him on credit. I am at a superior position. Why should I request? He should request me for the goods. But now when the instrument is coming from me, I order him to pay. I order him to pay. I order Tejas to pay rupees 1 lakhs. Rupees 1 lakhs. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಮೊದಲೇ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀನಿ, how much time you require ಅಂತ ಸರ್ 2 months ನಾಗ ನಾ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾನ್ರಿ. After 2 months. Okay. And then I sign. You tell me, the moment I sign this, whether this becomes an agreement? Who has to sign? Till Mr. Tejas signs this instrument, this is a sheet of paper. Remember, what is it is? This is a sheet of paper. Even I can't call this as bills of exchange. It can be called as bills of exchange the moment Tejas accepts it. Otherwise, this bill has no validity in the eyes of law. Clear? Who I am? I am seller. I am referred in this transaction as drawer. Who is Mr. Tejas? Tejas is drawee. He is a buyer. And to be strictly speaking, in terms of accounting, I am creditor and he is debtor. Hope you agree with it. This is how the bill works. Okay. And the moment he accepts and sends that bill back to you, the bill will be with whom? You need to remember this. The bill will be with whom? The bill will be with the seller. The bill will be with whom? The bill will be with the seller. Now for seller, remember, for seller, it is a negotiable instrument. Another idu negotiable instrument. That means which can be freely transferred. Okay. So what he can do with this, that has been discussed about. What he can do, he can discount it with the bank. Sir, what is meant by discounting, sir? Question arises. What is meant by discounting? This applies to even promissory note, whatever I'm speaking now. As I said, I have agreed to give 2 months time for Tejas for 1 lakh rupees. Assume that after few days, I may be in need of rupees 1 lakh, but I don't have money with me. I go to the doors of the Tejas. Tejas says, no, sir, you have given 2 months. I will not be giving back money now. So now what I can do? I can knock the doors of bank. As it is a negotiable instrument, I tell them, Mr. Bank, please keep this instrument with you. You can collect rupees 1 lakh from Tejas after 2 months. After 2 months. Are you able to understand? After 2 months, you can collect. But now you give me that money because I'm in need of it. Then what? Bank says, okay, I will give you 1 lakh rupees. Okay. And I will collect from him 1 lakh rupees. I am not a social worker. I need some benefit. So what I will be doing, I will be giving you less than 1 lakh rupees. Depending upon the rate of commission, what I will be charging you, I will deduct rupees from 1 lakh and I give it to you and I will collect 1 lakh rupees from Tejas. Understood? Then what I am doing, I am undervaluing my own bill because my bill is 1 lakh rupees and I'm saying that you give me lesser value than that. That's why it is called as discounting of bill. What it is called as discounting. Why it is referred as discounting? The reason is you are undervaluing your own bill. Are you clear? Okay, so hope you have understood what is discounting. So what involves discounting? You undervalue your bill. That's why it is called as discounting. Understood this? Pakka? No, or what you can do? If I'm a wealthy person, what I can do? I can retain that bill up to 2 months. Enjoy करो 2 महीने रोज देखो सुबह बोलो पैसे आने वाले हैं दिन ಮುಂಜಾನೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನನ್ನದ್ರಿ ರೊಕ್ಕ ಬರೋವ. You can retain that. Right? You can do retain when you are financially good, you don't require money. If you require money, what do you have to do? Then assume that you are a person, you are like Tejas. Tejas has purchased goods on credit from you and you have purchased on credit from some other person. You need to discharge your liability. Assume that I have bought goods on credit from Manikeshwari. Now Manikeshwari will be asking me, sir, yava kodtiri rokka? Then I tell, ಏನಿಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ತೇಜಸ್ಲೆ ಬರೋವ ಬರೋಣನೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸರಿ ಸುಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ಹಿಂಗೆ 2-3 ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿರಿ, you have not paid. Then what I can do? I can hand over that bill to her. See, this is the bill what I have received from Tejas. You collect money from Tejas after 2 months. Take this bill. Now she will ask me, sir, don't make me ullu. Who I am? Manikeshwari. Whose name is written on the bill? Praveen. Why Tejas will pay to Manikeshwari instead of Praveen? Right? Sir, you are just transferring the possession of the bill and not the ownership of the bill. How can it be done? The Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 has a provision for that. That is called as endorsement. What it is called as? Endorsement. What you have to do? Simply take that bill. On the back of that, you write to Manikeshwari and sign it. Done. अब तुम्हारे हवाले बिल साथी ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, not required. Because on the due date, I will not go. She will produce that bill. No, not required at all. Done? 100%? That is called as endorsement. What do we call it as? Endorsement. What happens in endorsement? We transfer the ownership of bill. Clear? Any doubt? No doubt. So you can do these things with bill. So there is another one, people call it as another type bill for collection antare, but I don't consider it as transferring the ownership. It is just you have appointed an agent, you will be sending the bill to that person for collecting. Okay, so there is no transfer of ownership and all, merely he is your agent. Clear? So what all you can do with the bill? You can retain, enjoy it for 2 months. After 2 months, paise le lo. Another thing is, no, you are in need of money, discount it. Clear? No, you are not in need of money, but you have some ability to be discharged. It. No, you have ample bills like that which will be coming to you regularly. Right? Then you appoint an agent who will be a banker. Right? Whenever you receive a bill, you keep sending him for collection. So that is called as a bill for collection. Clear? With all the four? Now let's begin with the bills of exchange. It must be in writing. Hope you agree. The bills of exchange must be in writing. इतना बड़ा काम चल रहा है and it has to be in writing. It must be dated. Otherwise due date कहाँ calculate करोगे? If it is not dated, then how you will calculate the due date? It must contain an order to pay certain sum of money. Yes, because if it mentioned that I order you to pay some amount, what is that some amount? The amount should be certain. The promise should be to pay. The promise to pay must be unconditional. Okay, it should not attach with any condition. Right? ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. I promise to pay ಅಥವಾ I order to pay rupees 10,000 if Virat Kohli scores a century. No, it can't be. The money must be payable to a definite person or to his order. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ on behalf of him someone else. Agent ಅಂತೀವ್ರಿ ನಾವು. Right? The person who represent himself. The draft must be accepted for payment by the party to whom the order is made. That is what I said, unless Tejas accepts the bill. That means, or you can say, unless the drawee signs, we cannot call it as bills of exchange. It must be duly accepted. It must be duly accepted. Are you clear with it? Done. Yes. No. Signature cannot be signed by your agent. Sorry, bill cannot be signed by. ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಆಗ್ತದಪ್ಪಿ, ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ GPA ಬೇರೆ ಇರ್ತದ, ಪವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟಾರ್ನಿ ಇರ್ತದ ಅದು. ಸೈನಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಬಿಲ್ ಸೈನ್ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಚೆಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನೆಗೋಷಿಯಬಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಯುವರ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಸೈನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಯುವರ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ? ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್, ರೈಟ್ ರೇ? ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. Okay, then a check is a bills of exchange, but every bills of exchange is not a check. Yak hinga helire? Check nagi, for example, if Tejas draws a check on me, what he is doing? Wrong. He is ordering his bank to pay me. You are able to understand? Tejas is ordering his bank to pay me. Then what is bills of exchange? Bills of exchange is also an order. Correct? Adike avu en hadari? Check is a bills of exchange, but every bills of exchange is not an. Clear that? Now, have you understood why he said this? But every bills of exchange is not a check. A check is a bills of exchange. Then why every BO is not a check? Okay, think over it. Wonderful statement it is. Why we can call check as a bills of exchange? Because it contains order. But all bills of exchanges are not check. Okay, think and answer. Then now next comes to promissory note. What is promissory note again? It is also an instrument in writing. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಚಲೋ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಆರಾಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಇದು ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ನೀವು ಎವ್ರಿ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ನೋಟ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತದ್ರಿ ಐ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಅವ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನ್ರಿ. ಏನಂದ್ರಿ? ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸರಿ ನೋಟ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗೇ ಬರ್ತದ್ರಿ, ನಾಟ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ನೋಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದ್ರಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೊಡೆದ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನ್ರಿ ಅವ. ಏನಂದ್ರಿ? ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ನೋಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸರಿ ನೋಟ್. ಅದು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ. ಏನು ಅದ್ರಾಗ ಐ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಅನ್ನೋ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅದು ಅದಾಗಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಅವ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನೀ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ನೋಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಈ ಝಂಜಟ್ನಾಗ ತರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಮನಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ಏನಂದ್ರೆ an instrument in writing, not a bank note or currency note. Clear there? Containing an unconditional and clear undertaking. Mere acknowledging of debt is not a promissory note. ಏನದರಿ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತೇಜಸ್ ನನಗೊಂದು ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ಟ. Yes, I acknowledge that I have received rupees 1 lakh from Praveen sir. It cannot be called as promissory note. Because nowhere he mentioned that he will be paying back that to me. Acknowledgement is mere acceptance of the statement. Clear that one truth that accept ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದೇನಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ, ಅದು acknowledgement ಅಂತೀವ್ರಿ. It does not involve any promise for action. So promissory note ನಾಗ ಏನ್ ಇರ್ತದ್ರಿ, ಅವ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನ್ರಿ. ಏನಂದ್ರೆ I promise to pay Mr. Praveen rupees 1 lakh after 1 month, after 2 months, after 3 months, whatever the time is stipulated. So what he says, Mere acknowledgement is not promise, right? It should have an undertaking. What is undertaking? Promise to pay. Clear there? Signed by the maker. Who is here maker? The one who borrows money himself will be the maker. ರೈಟ್ ರೀ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗಾಗ್ತಿತ್ರಿ, ಸಾಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟವ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದ, ಯಾರು? ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ನಾಗ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ್ರಿ? ಸಾಲ ತಗೊಂಡವ್ರಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಅದ ರೀ? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ನಾ ತೇಜಸ್ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟೇನಂದ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ್ರಿ? ನಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೇನ್ರಿ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಟು ಪೇ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ, ಯು ನೋ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಬಿಲ್. Only or to the order of a certain person. This also you know. Bearer not allowed. The rule of jiski lati uski bhais will not apply here. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? ಚೆಕ್ ನಾಗ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತದ್ರಿ. ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಯರರ್, ಚೆಕ್. The one who owns that will become the owner of that check. Clear? No acceptance is required. ಹಾ, ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಮತ್ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ acceptance ಬೇಕು? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇತ್ತು, accept. ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಏನಿತ್ರಿ? ಆರ್ಡರ್. Order need to be accepted in order to make a contract. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಐಟಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಒಂದು ಮೆನ್ಯೂನಾಗ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು, ಪನ್ನೀರ್ ಲಬಾಬ್ದಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವ ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅದು ಆರ್ಡರ್ accepted. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇದು ನಮ್ ಮೆನ್ಯೂನಾಗ ಅದರಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ ಶೆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ರಿ ಅನ್ನಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನ್ಡ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗದರಿ? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್. It is promise. So promise does not need any acceptance. If for example you want, sir, I promise you to pay rupees 1 lakh after 2 months. Na yen heli, I accept your promise. Ye accept ಮಾಡೋ ಜರೂರತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾ, ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸಿಗೆ acceptance ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀ ಎಲ್ಲನ ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಕೇಳಿರೇನ್ರಿ? ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ನಾಗೆ, ಇದು ಸಾರಿ ಸೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ನಾಗ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು, ರೈಟ್? ನೀ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಯಾರಿಗಾನ ಹೇಳ್ದಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ತಾಯಿ ಆಣೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆಣೆ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾ, ನಿನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ರೀ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ acceptance is required for promise. Have you understood this? Clear ರೀ ಪಕ್ಕ? Now the concept of demand bill. ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಬಿಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ರೊಕ್ಕ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತೀವ್ರಿ ನಾವು? ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಬಿಲ್. Whenever you demand, he need to pay the amount. Okay, and no specific period. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು 2 ತಿಂಗಳು, 3 ತಿಂಗಳು, 4 ತಿಂಗಳು, 10 ತಿಂಗಳು ಏನು ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ರಿ ಅದ್ರಾಗ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ರೀ? ದೆನ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಬಹಳ ಮಸ್ತ್ ಅದ ರೀ ಇದು. ಎಸ್, ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ರಿ? ಯೂಸುವನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬಿಲ್ ಆರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಿಲ್. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಹಾ, ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಿ? ಟೈಮ್ ಬಿಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಮ್ರಿ. ಟೈಮ್ ಬಿಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿರ್ತದ್ರಿ? ಪೇಬಲ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಈಗ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Okay, so now time bill. Okay, so what is time bill? The bill which is payable after a certain period specified in the bill. Clear ಅದು? ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? ಪೇಬಲ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಅ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಿಲ್. 2 ತಿಂಗಳಂದ್ರೆ 2 ತಿಂಗಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ. 3 months means after 3 months. Okay, so now in this case, ಡ್ಯೂ ಡೇಟ್, there are two concepts ರೀ. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿ ಬಹಳ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇರ್ತದ್ರಿ. What is due date and what is maturity date? Due date, see, first I will take you to the act, that is NI 1881. What it says is every negotiable instrument for the payment, the 3 days grace will be available. How many days grace will be available? 3 days. For example, if I have drawn a bill on 1st January 2025 for 2 months. If I look at this 2 months period, then 1/3/2025 will be the due date. But as per Negotiable Instrument Act, we have to allow 3 days grace. Then the date which comes to us after adding these 3 days grace will be called as a maturity date. Hope you understood the difference between due date and maturity date. Due date is without adding grace days. Maturity date is after adding the grace days. Clear? Right. Now question arises, sir, after adding all these days and all, whatever maturity date comes, what happens if it is a holiday? Bank is holiday on that day. What to do? Question arises whether it is a planned holiday or unplanned holiday. For example, tomorrow banks will be closed. You tell me, we were aware of it or not? It is a planned holiday. Do you know in the month of November when strike will be there? You know, bank people, a lot of time they go on strike. We don't know. So, but when that strike is announced, that strike will be an unplanned holiday. So remember, if it is a planned holiday, then it will be before working day. If it is unplanned, then it will be after. Are you clear? Before, after. Clear ದರೆ ಪಕ್ಕ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಿ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ. See, we now only we can tell when banks will be closed during Diwali holidays. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತದ್ರಿ, it is planned. Yes. For example, ಇದೇ ಕೇಸ್ನಾಗ್ರಿ, if 4th is a planned holiday, then 3rd will be maturity date. If 4th is a unplanned holiday, ಒಮ್ಮೆ strike announce ಆಯ್ತು, then it will be 5th. Are you clear? Next. Now, bill drawn on ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ 10th March, accepted on 14th March. How very important. I request all of you to pay attention now. Bill is drawn on what date? 10th March. Accepted on what? 14th March. Now, calculation of due date if the term of the bill. If the term of the bill, ಈಗೇನಾಗಿರ್ತದ್ರಿ, if we start from considering the date of bill ತಗೊಂಡಿವಂತೆ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. Now, if I consider, try to understand, if in terms of month given, ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನ್ರಿ ಅವ, it is a 3 months bill ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನ್ರಿ. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾನ್ರಿ, 3 months bill. Very simple. 10th March, first 10th April, 10th May, 10th June. So this will be the due date. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ plus 3 days ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ, maturity date. Clear ಅದರಿ? If it is given in days, instead of 3 months, he has given how much? So question, you don't convert that into month. Agree with it? Now what we need to do, we need to calculate 90 days. How we will calculate? See, it is in the month of March. 31 days ಇರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ. 10 ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೋತೀರಿ? 21 days of March. Full 30 days of April. Full 31 days of May, because still it will not be 90. Nodri, 21 plus 30, 51, 52, 82. So how many days we need? 8 days. So June 8th will be the day. Clear? Any doubt? Okay. Next. If date of acceptance is ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಎರಡು ಬರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವ್ರಿ ನಾವು? ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಡೇಟ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ 10th ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಾ ರೀ. ಸೊ ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಬಿಲ್ ಎಟ್ ಸೈಟ್ ಅಂತೀವ್ರಿ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ 3 months ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ? ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ 14 June. ನೋ ಡೌಟ್, ಈಸಿಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ 14 June. ಅದನ್ನ ಡೇಸ್ ನ ಕೊಟ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ? ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ರೀ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ? 14 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 14 plus 17 ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ? 31. ಸೊ 17 days in March. We are not considering 14 ರೀ, 14 ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ. ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟ್ರಿ? 30. ಮೇ ಎಷ್ಟ್ರಿ? 31. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. 47, 48, 78 ಆಗ್ತದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ 90 ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡೇಸ್ ಬೇಕ್ರಿ? 12. ಸೊ 12th June will be the due date of the bill. Are you clear? ಪಕ್ಕಾ? ದೆನ್ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದೇನೋ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಮತ್ತವ. ಅದು ಬಿಲ್ನಾಗೆ ಬರೆದಿರ್ತದೆ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ರೀ? ಹಾ, ಏನು 16, 12 ಏನೋ ಕೊಟ್ಟನಲ್ರಿ ಅವ. ಹಾ, ಓಕೆ, ಸಾರಿ. ಅವ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳನ್ರಿ? ಇಫ್ ದ ಬಿಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಡ್ರಾನ್ ಆನ್ 16/12 for 184 days, the due date will be 18 June. ರೈಟ್? ಇವನ್ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮನ್ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? Then the effect of holiday while ascertaining the due date. Public holiday. Wait, public holiday preceding working day. Emergency, subsequent or next working day. Clear? Now we discussed this already. Next is renewal of bill. Idu concept ಬೇರೆ ಅದರಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. I don't know whether to explain it now or later. Renewal of bill. Now what is meant by renewal of bill? Right? This is called as being polite. ಏನಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ? being polite. For example, ಈಗ ಸುನೀಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾನ್ರಿ. I have drawn rupees 1 lakh bill on Sunil. Sunil accepted it for 3 months. But after a month, he started feeling that, or after 2 months, he started feeling that no case he will be able to make the payment on the due date because of some circumstances. He comes to my door and says, "Sir, I said that I will be paying you amount after 3 months, but now I am feeling that I will not be able to pay the amount. So what I am requesting you is, if you extend it for further 2 months, I will be making the payment after those 2 months." So this is called as renewal of bill. The bill is already there. Now what it will be done? It will be renewed. But what you need to understand is, one is emotion and the other one is business. For businessman, waiting for 2 months will be again a cost. So what he does is, he charges interest for those 2 months. Are you clear? Right? So that these now you will be easy to understand. It will be easy for you to understand. If acceptor is unable to pay the amount of bill on maturity date, renewal means giving further time for making payment. Drawer charges interest on the delayed period. Clear? Pakari? Renewal bill amount will be equal to old bill plus interest on balance. Clear? Pakka ತಿಳಿಗತ್ತದ್ರಿ? ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? old bill amount ರೀ plus interest on the balance. Have you understood this? Any doubt? Now, ಇದು ಅವ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲಾರ್ದು ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬೇಕಲ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್? Now, when it comes to this interest amount, for drawer and for drawee, drawer is the one who has to receive this interest. For him, it will be a income. Drawee has to pay. For him, it is expenses. This you need to be very clear. Right? Pakka re? And one more thing, what he said is renewable bill amount is old bill cash plus interest ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿರಿ. Correct ಅದರಿ? But if he pays that interest by cash ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ, then no need to add that amount to the new bill. ಒಮ್ಮೊಮ್ಮೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ ಅವ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 1 lakh rupees ಬಿಲ್ ಅದರಿ ಸುನಿಲ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾ ಅಂತೀನಿ 2,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದಪ್ಪ ಫಾರ್ 2 months ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವ ಅಂತಾನ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾ ಹೊಸ ಬಿಲ್ 1,02,000 ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವ ಅಂತಾನ ಸರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ರಿ, let it be 1 lakh only, I will pay 2,000 rupees in cash. Then the new bill amount will exclude that rupees 2,000. Yes, sometimes he may agree to make the part payment also. Sir, I will pay 40,000 which I have now, for 60,000 you renew the bill. It may happen. Okay, done, clear. Now, have you understood this? No. Before I go to noting charges, first I will come to retirement of bill, then we will go to noting charges, because I will add one more page to explain you the noting charges. Okay. Now, hope you understood renewal of bill. This approaches you when? This comes to you when the when the debtor is unable to make the payment on due date. Okay. Now, coming to retirement of bill, this happens. This is another case. Here, he wants to make the payment early. That is called as retirement. Okay. Assume that I have given, as it was in the previous case, I have given 3 months to Sunil. But Sunil wants to make the payment in after a month only. That is called as retirement of bill. Have you understood this or not? Okay. So now, payment is made before maturity date. Drawee receives the discount or rebate. Now, when somebody makes the delay, you are receiving interest. When somebody makes the payment early, you need to reward him. So that rebate, it is called as rebate or discount. Now I tell him, Sid, no, yaar, you are paying within a month. You pay 99,000. You don't pay 1 lakh rupees. That 1,000 is an incentive for him. Done? Now, this concept is opposite to renewal. Correct, Adari? Done. Now, this is something which is legally not possible, not right, but still it is in practice. That is accommodation bill. Yaudri idu? This is accommodation bill. Question arises, sir, what is accommodation bill? Okay. See, this is a bill which is, you cannot call it as a trade bill. Because trade bill is for trading purpose. But remember, this accommodation bill is not for trading purpose. This is for the requirement of finance. You need finance. For example, a poor person like me is in need of money. When he go to bank, he will ask for the security. Do you have anything in your name? I already said in the class, nothing is in my name. I don't have house. I don't have my vehicle in my name. Nothing is in my name. So I tell him I don't have any security. He says, I will not give you loan because we need something as security. Then I will apply my khurafati dimag, and I make friendship with Mr. Sushrut, who is also like me. Right? We both are in need of money, but we don't have anything to give as security. I will ask Sushrut, how much amount you require? He says 1 lakh. I require 2 lakh. I require 2 lakh. Together, we draw a bill for 3 lakh rupees. I will draw, he will accept it. There is nothing, no trade, nothing. He accepts it. And he accepts and send it to me. I discount that with the bank. I may get less than 3 lakh rupees. Whatever amount I receive, that will be divided in the ratio 2:1. Approximately, I get 2 lakh and he will get 1 lakh. Okay. And wait. And on the due date, he pays me 1 lakh rupees and I put 2 lakh rupees and we will pay 3 lakh rupees to the bank. Not promissory note, only bill. This is called as accommodation bill. Clear? But it is not that easy as we are imagining, right? Adrag munde insolvency wala case bartare, bhambaja bartadre, right? Now what happens if he dishonors the bill? None mel bartadre. Or what happens if I am not in a position to pay the amount? So you will question bartadre, right? So we'll see while we will be solving problem. But now I hope you are clear with the concept of accommodation bill. What it says? It is a tool to get finance, but it is not a trade bill. Right? Illi trading adi ಏನು ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ರೀ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೆಸರು ಕರೆದಿರಿ ಅವರು accommodation bill. ಪಕ್ಕಾ 100%. Oh, you don't have any doubt? Nothing. Right? Okay, so now. ಅವ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನ. ಯಾರ ಬಲ್ ಬರ್ತಾರ ಅವ್ರು? Accountability cannot be transferred ಬಂದೆ. Hope you have studied, right? Accountability lies with me. ಅವ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೀದಾ ಮತ್ ನನ್ನ ಬಲೆ ಬರ್ತಾನ. Right? ಎಲ್ಲಿಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಈಗ ನಾವು? Accommodation bill. So we are done with accommodation bill. Hope you have understood the concept of accommodation bill. ನಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ನಿಮ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನಾಗ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಅಂದಿದ್ದೆ ನೆನಪಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನೀ ಸತ್ತಂಗ್ ಮಾಡು, ನಾ ಹತ್ತಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ನಾ ಇವನಿಗೆ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡೋ ಮುಂದಾಗ ನಾ ಏನ್ ಅಂತೀನಿ, ನಾ ಏನ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ, ನಾ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ರೊಕ್ಕ ಕೊಡವನ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡ್ರಾನ್ ಅ ಬಿಲ್. ಇವನು ಹಂಗೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊತಾನೆ, ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾ ಇವನ್ ಬಲ್ ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡೀನಿ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ he accepts that. So that is why it is called as accommodation bill. Are you clear? Now let's come to the ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ನ ಬಿಲ್ ಆಗತ್ತನ ಅವ್ರು ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ನಾಗೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಲ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಅದ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಬಿಲ್ ಆಗಮ್ದಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ನಾಗ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ನಾಗ ಬರ್ತಾರಂದ್ರೆ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಟೇಕ್ ದಟ್ ಬಿಲ್ ಟು ದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್, ಅವಾಗ ಯಾರ್ರಿ ಕೋರ್ಟ ಕಚೇರಿ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ರೊಕ್ಕ ತಗೋತಾರ ಅವ್ರು. ಬಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಏನಾನ ಇರ್ತದ. ನಾವು dishonor of bill. Dishonor of bill. Let us put that in red color. What is dishonor? I always tell, what is honor? Respecting. Correct, Udari? What is honor? Respecting. How you can respect a bill? Make payment for it. Make payment for it. If you do not make payment, then it is called as dishonor. Clear? Failure to make the payment is called as dishonor of bill. Clear the reason? Then question arises, sir, what is the impact of this dishonor? And how bill will help me to get back my amount? See, first is, whenever the dishonor happens, no need to be panic. What you need to do is, you need to send a notice to him, whatever you have already done it. You will go to a person called as notary. Now, why you need to go to notary? For example, in the case of Sushrut, when court asks me, or when court asks him, why Sushrut, why you did not make payment to Mr. Praveen? Sir, he did not ask me at all. No, sir, I went and asked him. What is the evidence that you went to him and asked? So then I go to a person called as notary. Here, notary. What notary does is, on behalf me, he sends a notice or he visits the house of that person and asks for the payment. Whatever his reply is there, he record it in a sheet of a paper and attach it to the bill. And this document is referred as protest. What it is called as? Protest. And this acts as an evidence a court of. Clear? Now he cannot deny. Are you clear with this? Right. And you tell me whether notary is a social worker. Tell me whether notary is a social worker. No. He will charge what? Fees. And this fees is called as notary charges. Sorry, noting charges. Sorry, noting charges. Lawyer irtane usually. And government nangu notary ant ellaru irangilla. Only few will be appointed as notaries. Now, question arises. Sir, ಮೊದಲೇ ಬಿಲ್ಲಿಂದ ರೊಕ್ಕ ಕೊಡೋದಿತ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೇನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ? Noting charges. Now question, who will bear this noting charges? And again, this comes into picture. What it says, this will be borne by a person who is responsible for dishonor of bill. ಯಾರು ಬಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? The one who is responsible for the dishonor of the bill. Nothing but you. Rare case. ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನೇ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ನೀವು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಹೌದಿಲ್ಲ? So clear? In short, it will be drawing. Done? Are you clear? This is dishonored, right? Right. So, and if you remember while teaching you cash book, Nanpadare, I said how to pass the journal entry for dishonor. ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನೆನ್ಪದೇನ್ರಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಚೆಕ್ ಡಿಸಾನರ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ? ಹಾ, remember. Whenever there is a dishonor, what you need to do, you need to reverse the effect. Whatever effect you have created, that has to be reversed. Clear? So ಇವತ್ತಿಷ್ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಸಾಕ್ರಿ, right? Tomorrow we will discuss journal entries. ಇನ್ನ ತಗೋಬೋದ್ರಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಂಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ this is enough ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತದ್ರಿ. Okay, and whatever notes I have presented here, these are not my notes. These are from the ICAI prepared by Mr. CA Sanket Shah. Right? So chalo, with this we finish today's class, and in the next class we will be looking at journal entries.